Welcome back, everyone, to Football Focus SG podcast with myself, Ais, and Mr. JB. Mr. JB, how are you doing today?
Yep, I'm feeling good. How are you?
Yep, I'm feeling good and feeling sad a bit since football season has
Mm-hmm.
ended,
Yep,
officially ended, and
yep,
not just the EPL. I know a lot of people talk about EPL, but Singapore League also ended as well, right around the same week or month with the EPL as well. And
sure.
if I were to ask you a question, Mr. JB,
Mm-hmm.
if you can, I always like to do this every end of the season. I think I asked you this the season before, and I'll ask you
Yeah.
this again. If you can summarize SPL season this season with one word or one sentence, what would it be?
SPL.
Mhm.
In one word or one sentence. Okay, I think the one word would be uh expected. Expected. Yeah. If I were to put it in a sentence, I'll probably say that expected for the top two,
Mhm.
unexpected for the bottom two. So
All right, all
yeah,
right. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
to be fair, yeah, it's a pretty predictable on the top, but everything
yeah,
else is unpredictable. Uh,
yeah.
but of course, for those viewers who are watching and also listeners, we will be going through the SPL predictions and review our prediction, which I'm pretty sure I think Mr. JB at this point, I myself and Mr. JB probably forgotten at this point who did we predict the year before. So we
Yeah, yeah.
predicted this last year, 2024. So we're gonna actually do a review for today's episode. So don't forget to, share your comments down below, press a like, share and subscribe. Now, Mr. JB, let's dive into the Singapore Premier League review. Now, if you ask me as well,
Mm-hmm.
what would my personal feel for the season is, I would
Yeah.
say it's mix of like predictable and also meh. Because I think in the start of the season, I think you and I kind of like, a little bit optimistic, a little bit like hyped up for the season. Like, okay, Lion City Sailors are like the top ones. Tampines look really, really decent. Albirex is gonna be their first season, which is first season of being localized club, no longer under Japan. And
Mm-hmm.
and all
Yep.
that. So there's like a bit of a hype-ish. And yeah, it turns out to be just a slight runaway for LCS, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, Uh yeah, I must say that the start was a little bit exciting.
Yeah,
But yeah, but I mean, I have to agree with you. As the season goes on, it does get a bit mellow, and then it gets to meh because yeah, eventually it is what it is. I mean, as we've discussed before, the number of clubs that is participating in our league is short. Like you're just looking at 9 teams.
yeah,
So yeah, man, let's dive in, and then we can see how we do this whole season review.
yeah. All right. So for the season review, we're gonna try to do our best to talk bit by bit on all of the teams, but we're gonna do it in a way where we're gonna review our predictions style. So I'll share with you guys like what we predicted. Again, the video is still on the channel. You guys can go check it out if you guys want to see. But from us here, Mr. JV, I have collated for us
Ooh,
the prediction that we made. And I'm not sure whether you remember how the point system goes. So in order for us to win this prediction battle, the lower the points, the better your score. Because
uh,
we don't want our positions to be too far. So, for example, basically, if you predicted Line City Sailors to be first and they really ended up first, then that's 0 points because you got it spot on. But
yep.
if, let's say, you predicted Young Lions to finish first and they ended up eight, so you get a plus 8 points on that, and that would, kind of jeopardize your score. So,
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
lower the score, the better. Now, Mr. JB, are you ready to hear this prediction that we made?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited because I myself don't remember what I said. So yeah, so that'll be brilliant. Yeah.
Hey, there are some surprises, there are some madness, but
Hmm.
ultimately we all do this for fun. So, all right. So I'm gonna share probably my one first for this. Would that be okay? And then you
Yeah.
can share with me your review about, we will go through the thoughts together, and then we can share club by club in terms of how their season actually went, you know? All right. But I think you and I can just spoil this for both of us first, straight
Hmm.
away that the last position in the ninth spot, we both put Young Lions,
Hmm.
and Young
Wow.
Lions is number eight.
Hmm.
Now,
Brilliant.
what did you make of Young Lions this season? I know that they have 29 points out of 32. Yes, it is by the numbers is not great, but it is Young Lions after all. And is 29 points in 32 games, Young Lions being eight. Is this considered a good season for you?
Yeah, I mean, looking at where they are before this season, I think, as you said, rightly spot on. We actually predicted them to be the wooden spoonies again this season. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I must say that I think probably on the second half of the season, I think that's where they start to really pick things up, and people's like, whoa, like young lions can actually pull off a couple of surprises. So yeah,
Yeah.
I must say that this is one of the results that I'm happy to get wrong, you know,
I
because
mean, yeah, to be fair, I think we would be happy to be wrong. But
yeah.
there are some results that is not desirable from Young Lions.
Hmm.
Like, for example, the 8-0 loss to Lion City Sailors.
uh
Yeah, I mean, unacceptable. 7-2 to Balestier Khalsa
yep,
as well.
yep,
you know. But they do
yeah.
pick up rare wins. Like I think they won Brunei DPMM like twice. They won
Hmm.
Balestier Khalsa, Hougang, and I think the largest win, but it's not even in the Premier League, unfortunately, was the
Hmm.
7-1 win over Albirex in Singapore Cup. I think that's probably like highlight of their season right there. A
Yeah,
7-1 win by Young Lions, like it's
exactly.
unheard of, really.
Yeah,
So yeah, like I think we both kind of, to be fair, it is not like the worst of prediction. We both are only off by one, and
yeah,
and if anything, we know that they won't they won't go out above like
that's right.
9, really, would
Yeah,
they? All
yeah,
right,
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, but
yeah,
you
it
know,
is. All
but
right,
but the
so
surprises are sweet. I mean, that's the nice part about Young
oh
Lions.
yeah, yeah, it's a good kind of surprise. It's a good kind.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a positive surprise. Yeah.
positive surprise. All right, so that's like a +1 for me and you there.
Hmm.
So next one on the eighth position, I put Brunei DPMM. And would you like to hear yours as well? I think we might as well do it
Uh,
currently and then we can
yeah,
discuss the season. So
yeah.
I put Brunei DPMM as eight and
Okay.
yours, Mr. JB, Geylang International as eight.
Oh, come on, come on,
Probably
man.
your
That is,
worst prediction so far
yeah, that
of
is
the
that is way
SPL.
off.
You may be
Yeah,
surprised, even though there's only 9 teams for us to predict. It is not easy sometimes. But
yeah, yeah.
okay, Mr. JB, share with me your thoughts. From why did you put them eight, and how did they manage to do so well, actually? They were in the title race for, I would say, half a season to third of the season before, they just kind of like cement third. What would you make of their season? I think their last season they finished like 6, 7, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I must say that this season, I think they are, for me personally, the most improved.
No, my
Uh,
apologies. The last season was fifth
yeah,
position. Yeah.
yeah. So I must say that this season, I think they are the most improved. I must say, okay
Yeah.
lang. Because I think the last time that I mean, they finished third, right, this season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was Coach Noali or something who mentioned that the last time they actually got third was probably years ago.
It is
So
very long. I mean, Geylang has not been in the top 3 or 2 for a long time. So
yeah. So I mean, for them to be where they are, yeah, I'm happy for them. Not so happy about my points there. I think it's quite high, but Yeah, I mean, we all know,
Quite
we all,
quite high,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, you put them quite low, right?
yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, we all know why they end up that high, and it's because of my player of the season has to be Tomoyuki Doi,
I mean, it
uh,
is. It is
hands down.
the most
So
impressive, single-handedly the most impressive player in all of, Singapore
yeah,
Premier League history.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
44 goals. 44 goals in 32 games.
Yeah,
This man is scoring goals like he was playing FIFA in SPL.
that's right. In fact, I think according to the world ranking of strikers, I think he's probably in the top two or top three as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
in all over the world, I believe
yeah,
his name has been mentioned now in
mm-hmm,
Europe, in other
mm-hmm,
countries now, like, hey, there's a guy who scored 44 goals in 32 matches. And
exactly.
then when you go to the comments, yeah, you just see a bunch of, oh, he's Singapore
Yeah,
legend. So
correct.
yeah, but I think yes, Geylang had probably the biggest improvement this
I
season
agree.
compared to other teams. But at the same time, uh, I I did predict them lower than what it is, which we will reveal later as we go on. But I did predict Brunei DPMM as 8. You
Mm,
predict Geylang as 8. But unfortunately, it was Young Lions who is at 8 position. On the original nine position, which is Tanjong Pagar, which we'll get to it in the moment. Now, number 7. This is where you and I put. Again, well, it's a nice segue following from number 9, Tanjong Pagar. You and
mm.
I, Mr. JB, we put Tanjong Pagar as number 7. And in the real life table, they are dead last with 16 points
Ooh,
in 32 games.
yeah. Well, I think
That
for
is
that,
that is Southampton level, right there.
I mean, the fact that they played 32 games, right,
Yeah, 32 games.
and they only got 3 wins.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just man. I mean, we can go down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like the losses, okay, 22. All right, you know. But then after that, when you go to the goals for,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? They score lesser than Young Lions, right? They
yep,
only scored 35 goals. But
yeah.
the one stat that is amazing is the goal against,
Yep.
which is not one digit. You're probably thinking it's 2 digit, but
Normally it's two
man.
digit.
Man. We're talking about 3 digits. We're
I
talking about
mean,
3 digit, 103 goals conceded
uh,
in 32 games.
103 goals conceded
Exactly. Exactly.
in
Let me just,
32 games.
I
That
mean,
is on average. If I were to make a calculation, if you don't mind, Mr. J,
yeah, I mean,
that
my
is
math
on
would fail.
average
Yeah,
3.2 goals conceded per game.
exactly. That's at least 3 goals per game.
So every game that you go to Tanjong Pagar, expect 3 goals going against
Yep, and that's
you.
average too, right? There are games that I think they concede way more than 3 or 4 or
I
5.
mean, yeah, I mean, well, looking at some of the results, example, they lost 7-1 to Leicester City Sailors.
Come
They
on.
lost 7-2 to Balestier Khalsa. They lost 5-3 to Geylang. They lost 6-0 to Hougang, 6-0 to LCS, 5-0 to Tampines. The list goes on, really, for the type of loss that they have. 5-1 with Albirex, 7-2 with Geylang. They have two different 7-2s.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as fans, right? I mean, let's be real. As fans, where we see such score lines like 7 and all that,
Yeah.
it's a fun day because there's a lot of goals. At the same time, it's another fun day for us to make fun of each other. I mean, even Arsenal have conceded 7. Man United have conceded 7 before, but when it sinks in, right? A
No.
professional team shouldn't be conceding 7 goals.
No, no, if you're conceding 7 goals, like, I agree with you. Like there are teams that's gonna concede a lot. Like Arsenal conceded 8-2 against Man United. Man
Yeah,
United losing 6 goals or 7 goals or
yeah,
something. Every team
yeah.
has it, but Tanjong Pagar conceded 6, 7 goals consistently. They have they have more than one results of 6, 7 goals against them. So
Exactly.
that's
So you see,
criminal.
yeah. So I mean, that's what I said. As a professional team, right?
Yeah.
If you're getting 7 goals, like more than 2 or 3 games against you, then something is so wrong. But then to be fair, to some credit of Tanjong Pagar,
Yeah.
the moment Noalam Shah came back, you can see an improvement. You can see some form of desire. I mean, they still lose some matches or draw
Yeah.
even. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think the last game I kind of pitied them because they were leading 3-1 or something, and then
Oh
the,
yeah,
the
they
game
kind of
ended up
threw
into a
away the
3-3.
lead to
Yeah,
Geylang with well questionable referee decisions here and there.
yeah. Well, I mean, the referee decision has always been
But
one
again,
of the
hey,
magics of SPL.
save some for later. We're gonna do some ratings after that. So
Yeah, but for me, I feel that when Noah Alam Shah came to so-called rescue the team, I think, yeah, I can see some desire, I can see some passion, I can see some improvement,
true, true.
more attacking football, more organized, in that sense. So, yeah, but by then, the damage has been done, right? That's why they end up where they end up. So I really hope that they will improve. And I hope that Noalam Shah, no, I'm sorry, I hope that Noalam Shah stays. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, hopefully better things coming up for them. Hope,
Well, I hope
because
so, but I guess yeah. To sum it all up, like what you said, Tanjong Pagar just very abysmal season.
uh,
It is
mm,
beyond anything. I mean, to have only 35 goals this season goes for, and conceding 100.
yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
basically your own fans cheered for your goal 35 times, and the opponent cheered against you 103 times.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, what I'm saying, 103. You can't even.
Oh,
I mean, you can't even
three
pinpoint
times
the
more. Yeah.
goalkeeper or probably the defenders. It's like the entire team will have to
Wow.
be responsible for that.
I
A
mean,
hundred over goal.
I don't know. If I were you, if you're the player and you're in this kind of situation and position, what would you feel and what would the locker room be like?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, the morale. But after a while, right, if it becomes a habit, right, if it becomes normal, then that's an issue too. You know what I'm saying?
So it's a
Like,
mentality thing.
yeah, exactly. It's a mentality thing. Like, yeah, the first few times maybe when you get that high score line of 7 goals, you probably feel very down and very out and out. But then after that, when you realize that, hey, like the rest of the team also doesn't seem to want to, I don't know, improve, and then you tend to concede more, it might becomes a habit. And if it becomes a habit, it might becomes a problem. So yeah, but I'm glad that Alam Shah is back. No Alam Shah, so hopefully he can, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
continue working the magic. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, that's there for Tanjong Pagar, man. I mean, if I can sum up the whole thing, I mean, come on, you guys are the Jaguars, man. You guys are the pioneers, one
yeah.
of the pioneers of
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 the
the of
SPL,
the
yeah.
exactly of the SPL, and and looking at your lineup as well. I mean, there are some decent players as well. I mean, not saying that it's all bad and young and all that. No, no, no. I mean, they got some players. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm not sure how they can turn it around, but I really hope they can turn it around because, firstly, I'm glad that they came back, right? You do realize that a few seasons ago,
Yeah,
Tanjong Pagar wasn't around and then they came
correct,
back, right?
correct. I'm
Unlike,
glad that they
unlike the
are
other
around as
teams.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unlike the other teams like, Warriors and all that, who's nowhere to be seen anymore.
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, but that's that for Tanjong Pagar. I think, yeah, very, very poor season this time.
yeah. It is a
Yeah.
poor season, but in the actual position, number seven is actually Hougang. But we both predicted Tanjong Pagar there. We're gonna talk about that probably just a bit. So now
Mhm.
number six, I actually predicted Geylang, and you, Mr. JB, predicted Brunei DPMM. Now, this is very interesting because, okay, we both have a separate thing. Um, we have talked about Geylang before. I'll just catch up on, I'll just add on to what you mentioned earlier because you predicted Geylang on 8 and you have shared about, how the biggest improvement. Reason why I put 6 is probably at a point in time, again, coming off from the last season, they were fifth, but they were coming off in a bad run. It was really, really bad, and like a lot of players were leaving. And really, I think Geylang single single-handedly getting third was thanks to Tomoyuki Doi. Let's face it, really.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
that man, without that man goal, Geylang could be facing where Tanjong Pagar is. Let's be real. But of
Yep.
course, it's a collective team effort thing at the end of the day. They did really well this season, and no doubt about that. But unfortunately, I'm 3 plays off. For you, Mr. JB, you predicted Brunei DPMM on six. They ended up finish on fifth. So it's not that far off. But what did you make of Brunei DPMM?
Yeah, I mean Brunei DPMM as well. I think same thing. I'm not sure if they changed the coach halfway. I can't recall.
Hmm.
Uh, but I think I think it's almost the same like this man. Okay, I'm suddenly my lost in my trail of thoughts. But yeah, but what I wanted to say was the first half of the season, I think they weren't doing so well, and
Yeah,
then after that they kind of picked back up. You know,
yeah.
so yeah, so I feel that I mean not not that far off from my prediction, right? So
Yeah, it's just one off from you
yeah,
actually. So
so yeah,
if
so I mean
anything, it's
yeah,
not that
I
bad.
mean yeah, not too shabby. So yeah, I mean
Yeah, I mean,
expected.
I predicted Brunei DPMM to be eighth position.
Hmm.
So, but it's only because that also, again, I think we were discussing about, this is their first time coming back since COVID.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and ended up this is their last now since we now got the news about
Mm-hmm.
moving to Malaysia League. Of
Yep.
course, we'll wish them all the best. Brunei DPMM. Hope I mean, Malaysia League is definitely more of a bigger and tougher challenge. Trust me, we've seen Lions Stone
Yeah.
before, and
Yeah.
it's not easy. So, not saying like Singapore League is easy as well. Brunei DPMM did finish fifth. It is always fun to have them around because they have like a very different style of play, and they are always like one of those teams that just kind of adds on the filler there that kind of causes stir up in the league. And mid-table is kind of like where they were, like what you said, and almost got it correct, unfortunately, but one place off. But
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
in the actual sixth position is actually Albirex Niigata, which moving on to our prediction for the fifth spot, I had Hougang United, and you, Mr. JB, you had Albirex Niigata. So,
Okay.
so one off again. Albirex was six in the real life. You predicted fifth, just one higher. Uh, and I predicted Hougang to be fifth. Unfortunately, they are in seven. So let's talk about the Albirex first, since this is their first season of localized club. What did you make of it? They are now six.
Well, I mean, a surprise, of course. But comes to no surprise because, as you said, I mean, they have already converted to a localized league, so-called localized club,
Yep.
uh, getting more of the local players and all that, which, you know, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but, I mean, the Abirex that we know back then, uh, creating all the surprises. Not saying that they don't create any surprises this time, they do, but but the surprises are not always the good ones,
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, they kind of struggle in some matches in
Yeah.
terms of the defense.
Especially the
Uh,
first few games, Albirex
yeah,
really, really struggled.
yeah, and I'm really surprised because our former national goalkeeper is also at Everett. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, but I must say that all in all, uh, I would say it's a 50-50 season for them. I wouldn't say it's the best, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it's that bad. Because it's the first time I think they're in this transition.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, with any transition, you expect uh difference in the result, can be good, can be bad. So this time I think LBRX 50-50. I won't say it's the best, but at the same time I would say that the later part of the season I think they slowly start to improve and quite rightfully try to improve their positioning up to the sixth spot. Although it's a bit disappointing. I expected that they would be able to at least overtake Brunei DPMM's
Yeah.
position, which is fifth. But yeah, it is what it is. So
Yeah. I mean, you would have gotten a accurate prediction, but
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
they drop off below Brunei DPMM. And
that's right.
yeah, so yeah, in the fifth spot is actually Brunei DPMM. So basically, for you, Mr. GB, you kind of have to swap the Albirex and DPMM, and that's it, really,
Yeah, yeah.
because they were just one spot away. All right, so moving on to the fourth position that we predicted. I predicted Albirex, and you, Mr. JB, you have your first accurate prediction. You got Balestier Khalsa as fourth place.
Nice, nice. That's pretty spot on.
Yeah, so okay, I'll touch on Albirex real quick because you mentioned already, and I predicted them to be fourth. Okay, reason why we both know Albirex gonna fall. We both know that because
Mhm,
in how many seasons in a row, Albirex has been just first and second, correct? They have been just fighting for the title, consistently winning it. If not, they're just, it takes a lot out of LCS to win, that 2 seasons ago. And we know that when you become localized, we know that there are many Japanese players gone. Not saying that it's like a massive downgrade, but from the looks of it, it is a massive downgrade. And I
mhm,
think we kind of underestimate about how bad it can be. So that's why I thought, like, from its usual first, second, dropping off below fifth is a bit too much, but it did finish sixth. So with that, I ended up putting Albirex fourth, and that's a +2 for me. But for you, Mr. JB, you put Balestier fourth, and they got fourth. Well, you got it spot on. So,
Well,
so what would you make of their season then?
well, I must say that, I see it from miles away.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Exactly.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it from miles away from last season. I knew they'll end up. No, no, no. I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, I think, yeah, I would say Balestier is one of those surprises. I never expected them to actually be uh, higher than clubs like Hougang, you know. I don't expect them to be higher than Brunei even. But hey, I mean,
So
there
they
are
did
magic
finish
moves as well.
fourth last season. So
Yeah, yeah. So all in all, I think they've improved. I guess, although they finished the same. Uh,
yeah, they finished the
but
same spot where they were. Just
yeah,
more
yeah,
games this time.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it is almost like for like because last season is still Peter Deroux.
Oh
This
yeah.
time the coach is still Peter Deroux, but sadly Peter Deroux's last season already.
Yep.
So yeah, so I
Next
think
season is gonna be a whole different thing in our prediction.
exactly, exactly. So I'm more excited to see how Balestier will look like next season because yeah, we don't know who will be the new coach, whether there'll be a shuffle of the players. So yeah, so that'll be very interesting. But yeah, all in all, I would say Balestier is uh I would say hit the mark. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like it's almost like a 50 out of 100 score line. It's a pass. Yeah,
Okay. It's a
yeah,
pass.
it's a pass.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pass.
All right. So let's finish up the top three prediction that we have and the top three, basically the last three clubs that we can try to talk about.
Mm.
Then, since you mentioned about, you can see it from a miles away, Mr. JB, in third position, you predicted Hougang,
Mm-hmm. I knew that. I knew that.
who is a
Yeah, I
miles
think.
off to seventh spot, and I predicted Balestier, who is above just +1,
Mhm.
uh, just above position by one. So again, just gonna hop on what you said. Balestier, yeah, this is one of those seasons where they are putting their benchmark as like, a top four team, not really challenging for the title, but cementing that top four. They're not really in danger of being in
Yeah,
the six, seven, eight, nine.
that's
So
right.
in a way, stability wise, is all right. It's good. It's great. Hope to see more. But like what you said, with the manager now leaving, this is his last season. We do not know what kind of Balestier is gonna come next season. Then, so it's gonna be interesting and it's gonna be scary times. But I hope, this possible season for them, hope that it could get better for them. But for you, Mr. JB, and this will be a time that we get to finally talk about Hougang, which for some reason you put third in the league. Why?
Well, I think it's probably because last season they ended up pretty high, right?
Last season it was sixth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
No, if you
I
look back at
probably,
the
I
video,
probably missed that one. Yeah,
yeah, if you look back at the video, this is one of your like markets, like your dark horses that you like to put
yeah,
in, like
yeah.
those
Exactly.
unpopular opinions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. Those unpopular
So,
opinions.
but
Uh.
again, well, we know why you decided to do that. Don't have to justify that. But
Mm-hmm.
what did you
Mm-hmm.
make of Hougang season? They went from six to seven. to me, it's basically 6-6 because the reason why now they're seven is only because of Brunei DPMM. If Brunei DPMM they join, they're just basically six again, like how they were last season. And I'm surprised that I didn't put them six. I put them fifth for some reason. Uh, but anyway, yeah, like they have a very, very average to poor season.
Nah, I must say disappointing, man.
Yeah,
It is what it is. Not just because of my damn prediction, but I think it's more because, as a club like Hougang, you expect them to be at least, at the very least, the top half.
yeah,
Like at least the top four, man. At least the top four.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But this one, they are like
Uh,
miles away from the fourth.
yeah, it's
Like they
like
were like, I think 17 points away from Balestier. That's from
exactly.
third to
That's
seven.
that
17
is
points
poor.
gap there.
That's poor. That's really
And
poor.
from six to seven, just one position on top. It's 11 points difference. So
Yeah, but then again, if you look at the stats, or I should say the table, right?
yeah.
The those numbers don't lie. They got the most draws, right?
I
They got
mean,
10 draws. You know what I'm saying? That is,
yeah.
the moment your draws hit double digit, right? It's not gonna look good because okay,
I
just to
mean the
go a bit
draw kind of cost them a lot of 2 points.
exactly, exactly.
But
Just to go a bit off topic here, yeah. Just like Arsenal, right? Arsenal have so many draws, right?
true. Yeah.
That I feel that, to be honest, I feel that a draw shouldn't be 1 point. A draw should be given at least 2 points. But hear me out. People might say, oh, like why? You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about 1 point. True. But you think about it this way. A team draw one game and lose one game. How many points do they get?
Hmm. I
How many
mean,
points do they get? If they draw one and lose one?
draw one and lose one, one. Yeah.
1 point. Now, that same team, they lose one and they win one. They get 3 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you
The
see what I'm
gap
saying?
there.
Yeah, so there's a gap there. So you imagine a team can go undefeated the whole season. But if let's say they got so many draws, right?
Yeah.
If they get three straight draws, they only get 3 points, right? But people will say, oh, they are undefeated.
Yeah.
But after that, if you were to compare some other team who have two losses but one win, already have the same number of points as the team that has three draws.
Hmm. You know what? Yeah, I used to think, like back then, like I know a draw is only 1 point, and it's, like the 2 point loss gap makes a lot of difference.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I used to think that, if they were to draw, like instead of giving 1 point each, like you should give the home team just 1 point because, they fail to win, they only get draw.
Yeah,
And the away team
yeah,
gets 2 points rather than
exactly.
three because they get a draw.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
technically nobody lose. But I guess at the
exactly.
same time, because if you give them extra point for not winning, and the other team also didn't win, so but again, yeah, this is
Yeah,
just
but this is just yeah, but this is just theory. So yeah, so
yeah,
back to Hougang United. Yeah,
yeah,
so looking at the whole table and all, it is what it is. Your draws can't be double digit. You have double digit in draws, that's it, man. You
yeah,
are gonna end up in the mid or in the bottom. So yeah, Hougang is just Hougang, man. Very
yeah.
disappointed. I'm
It
definitely
is
not
a
gonna
very
predict them.
disappointing.
I'm definitely not gonna predict them to get so high on the table next season. If I'm not wrong, they changed the coach as well, right? Halfway through the season or
Yeah,
something like that.
they did,
Or
yeah.
midway through, yeah. So yeah, it is what it is.
All right, now we'll come to the final two, which I'll just let everyone know now because we both have the same two clubs in the top two, but are they in the right order? That's the question.
Yep.
So, Mr. JB, I have put LCS second, Tampines first, and you have correctly predicted LCS
That's it.
Tampines second.
That's right.
So, I
That's right.
think we don't have to review too much in it. I think we
Yeah,
both know why we both put Tampines and LCS as the top two. We both
that's right.
know that they're going to be in a title race. Tampines did put up a really, really good fight, but I think it's all down to just quality at the end of the day. And I think really, if you think about it, Tampines only have the difference of just three matches. They have like one extra draw and two losses. It's what caused them, away from the league, which is not that far. And, respect. to them, really. And LCS being LCS, I feel like, it's given the fact that they reached to the AFC Champions League 2 final, also known as Europa League, for those who are not familiar with these AFC terms, is equivalent to Europa League. Yeah, like for them to be the first Singapore club to reach a final and them winning first in the league, I do think that they thoroughly deserve this victory, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, hands down. I mean, looking at the expenditure and all that, I mean, no difference to our neighbors as well with JDT. I mean,
Yeah,
you have a good coach, you have a good balance, you have a good team, experience mixed with, a few good signings, from renowned leagues and all that. So, of course, once you do that, you are expected to perform, and most of the time, you will perform. So, yeah, I mean, coming back from last season, I think no surprises here for them because they started off strong. Uh, it's just unfortunate. I think the one that they fall short was probably the Shopee Cup or something. And
yeah,
yeah, yeah, only for that tournament I expected a bit more from them. But yeah, other than that, I mean, credits to them making it to the final of the ASEAN the ACL two, I think. Uh, yeah, of that tournament, just to lose out against a UAE team. So yeah, I mean, so many positives to write on from Lion City Sailors. I hope other teams uh, try to take a leaf out or take a page out on what they're doing right. Of
yeah,
course, you can always talk about, yeah, hey, they got money, they got backing, they got this and that. Yeah, true. But I mean, there's always things to learn
yeah.
from
That's
them. Yeah, on that part. And also the interesting part is as we speak right now, as of this recording, tomorrow will be the big final of the Singapore Cup between
yeah.
these two,
Yep,
right?
which I
So
actually wanted to lead on there.
yeah.
Have a bit of a prediction on who's gonna win the cup final. Who have you got on?
Wow, I mean, if you were to ask me, my I would say my bias side, I want Lion City Sailors,
Yeah.
right? But on my sentimental side, I want Tampines to win.
Oh,
You know
come
what I'm
on,
saying?
come
I
on.
mean, do it for Yasin, man. Do it for Yasin. You know what I'm saying? Do it for Yasin,
Okay, come
right?
on.
So,
At least give me a prediction score. Like, what's the score gonna be for the cup final?
oh man, what's the score gonna be? You know what? I'm gonna go wild here. I'm gonna
Uh,
go 2-2. I'm gonna go 2-2 draws, and then penalties will go to Lion City Sailors.
I'm actually gonna go with Tampines again. I know I predicted Tampines first in the SPL and they didn't. And why do I still pick them again? Well, to be fair, them winning the Thailand team BG Pathum United was very impressive. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
ultimately, I just feel like, hey, LCS, you won the SPL. You're already in the cup final of the Champions League too. Let's have
Mhm.
Tampines take this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have a point. You have a point there. But yeah, but I'm not
Like
sure.
ultimately, if LCS lose this, I'm not gonna say this is a horrible season anyway. Them getting to the final of the Champions League too, while winning the domestic league is already impressive enough. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not really a big loss if you ask me. But for Tampines, I think they have a lot more to play for, given that they tried so hard, they only got second. This will be like a perfect redemption, a perfect revenge. Like, hey, we could not be you in the league, but we can try win you in the cup there. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So to tally up all those prediction scores, I'm gonna put it down below for those viewers that you guys can see. But for listeners, I'll let you guys know. I have a total of 16 points. Again, let me remind everyone, lower the points, the better. I have 16 points in total, but none correct. So all has been like +1, +2 all around. Mr.
Yeah.
JP, you have three corrects with LCS Tampines and Balestier,
That's
and
right.
you have but your Hougang of +4 and Geylang +5 and
Oh
everything
man.
gives a total of 14 points, which means you are the winner
Oh, that's great.
as
That's
to your
great.
prediction
But
with
yeah,
14
but
points and three actual correct positions.
Wow,
Of
but that's
course,
not that far off from you though. Yeah.
yeah. Reason why I do these points and correct, just in case we both happen to get the same point, then we'll see how many number of correct, like spot on. It'll
Ah,
be like
right.
our goal difference kind of thing. But
Yeah.
we don't even need to do that. You got lesser points than me by 2 points because Geylang and Hougang took out a chunk from you, and the rest is like plus
Yeah.
one, plus two. But your three correct saves you right here.
That's right.
And win the whole thing. So congratulations, Mr. JB. Looking forward to next season SPL so that we can predict again the table.
Yep. Yep. Looking forward.
And yeah, and also for listeners and viewers at home, do check it out on our channel. We're gonna have our part two where we're gonna do a tier list maker of reviewing the SPL club in the season, just in a tier list format, and see how it goes. Do stick around, hope you guys do enjoy today's episode. Press a like, comment down below what you guys think. More importantly, to share and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.